Hello everyone, my name is Mia. I am a current Cal Poly student living in Mustang Village here in St. Louis Obispo. I wanted to do a walkthrough of my apartment since when I moved into the apartment I had zero clue what I was getting into or what the apartment looked like on the inside, so I felt like it would be good to upload a little pros and cons kind of video and my experience living in Mustang Village. I will preface that it has been fairly good and I am living in Mustang Village again next year, just not in this specific unit because of the unit itself. Yeah, I'm just gonna talk a little bit about my personal experience before actually walking you guys through the house. If you guys don't want to skip through this, totally cool, but if you are seriously living here, definitely give it a listen just because there's a lot of pros and cons, and also it's kind of like a how-to when you don't know how to like deal with like being a renter for the first time. One of the biggest things, obviously if you're watching this video, you know that Mustang Village doesn't have walkthroughs or photos of any of their units on their website, and I feel like that's a big letdown just because you are paying a lot of money and you also can't walk through any of the units. They don't do that. They say you can tour, but you can only tour the property itself, not the actual unit. All of the interactions I've had with the property manager and the accountant have been fairly negative. I don't know if that's just like a common occurrence or just like my personal situation. One big thing I want to note is that if you are paying your rent using FAFSA or whatever kind of student loan refund, definitely make sure you have enough to pay it during the gray areas between quarters. Back in January, when I had to pay January rent, I wasn't getting my FAFSA refund until a week after rent was due, and that's the main source of money I used to pay for my rent. And I had called the leasing office and explained my situation, and they said, oh yeah, that's fine, whatever. And then I get a call from the property manager or the accountant here, and they were being very just disrespectful with the way that they were speaking to me, even though I had already communicated with them that I am a student on financial aid. I would not be able to afford this apartment had it not been for financial aid, and they were just going to have to wait because I was going to pay my rent as soon as I got it, but I just hadn't received that refund yet just due to the holidays and things like that. That was one of the biggest like letdowns for me, was just like the way that they're just not very understanding. Obviously it's kind of a given because it is like a property and like it's like I signed a lease, I have to pay it on the 1st, but I just wasn't expecting to get my refund a few days late. And if they are primarily a student housing complex, they should be more aware of like student situations in that aspect, especially because they've been here for so long and their main market is students. One of the other big things that you're always going to hear about Mustang Village is the maintenance problems. I will say my unit is a little bit renovated, a little bit more renovated than other apartments are, so your apartment may not look exactly the way that mine does, just because of that. We've had many maintenance issues, most of them pretty fixable, and maintenance has been nothing but amazing. I will say my most positive comments about Mustang Village itself on the more company side have been from maintenance. They are like the best, and they will get to you within like 1 day or 2 days if you submit a maintenance request through the portal. The maintenance guys, I cannot say enough about them. They're just like so nice and communicative, and they understand that sometimes they can't fix things and will give you advice on how to do that. One main thing that we've been having issues with is the drains upstairs, which is a huge issue. I think our neighbors also had a problem with them as well. They smell really bad, they clog really easily, and I have to call maintenance every 5 minutes to kind of like get that problem fixed temporarily, but maintenance is super nice about it. They also have climbed through our window because our doors for some reason locked from the inside and I couldn't get out of my apartment. So I've had my door replaced like twice, or like the knobs replaced like twice because of that. And then upon moving in, there was a bunch of different issues and things like that that we had to report. That was a bigger thing with a couple of our other friends who do live in the townhomes, was that they had a lot to fix beforehand, including like their stove, their microwave, like things like that, before they, when they moved into the apartment. So before they even got to use it. But my main advice would be to just, as soon as something happens, report it, or else you're gonna get charged for it at the end of the year. As for all the amenities and things like that, there has been a lot of internet outages, power outages, and water outages in Mustang Village. I don't know if that is like an issue that they have because they haven't updated or anything like that, but My unit specifically, they have turned our power off on purpose a couple of times just because they were doing electrical work, and they gave us absolutely no notice for that. The internet outages have happened 2 or 3 times this year, one in Mustang 1, or 2 times in Mustang 1 and once in Mustang 2. And it takes a couple of days for them to even get the internet up and working. And this year when this happened, it was during finals and midterms weeks. As for the water outages, the city for some reason is doing work around here. So they've turned our water off, I would say about 4 times this year. They did give us notice, but it is just not ideal because it would be off for 8 hours or however long it takes for them to do the work that they're doing. With the individual leases, I will say that the leases are a little bit predatory towards students. It's kind of like you don't really have any other option but to sign it. You can't negotiate too much. All of the leases are individual leases, so for whatever reason, if your roommate moves out in the middle of the year or they're not paying their rent, you won't be penalized for it. But that also means with the common spaces, if whatever reason something is damaged, whatever, you and your roommates have to split it, and you cannot dispute it with Mustang Village. That's a big thing. You can't dispute charges with Mustang Village if there's any damages to the common areas. You have to dispute it with the roommate that you know caused the damage. Hopefully that makes sense. So my also big advice would be to just read your lease and know what you're getting into. Other than that, I've had a pretty positive experience in Mustang Village, like I said. If you notice for whatever reason that when I go throughout the house, the windows are shut and things like that, I just am doing that for my privacy because I am still living in the unit that I'm living in. And I really don't want anyone to track me down. So if the lighting looks weird for whatever reason, I'll try to do my best to accommodate like with the way the video looks, but I'm just going to do like an overview of the apartment. I'm not going to show you what the drawers look like and what I have in certain places. I'm just going to show you the amenities. I know that you guys don't want to sit through a fucking long ass video of me showing you every little thing in my sock drawer and stuff like that. So let's just get into it. Starting with the bottom of the house, front door, pretty basic, peephole, right next to the downstairs bathroom. Now this bathroom down here is the only one with the glass door. The one upstairs does not have a glass door. It has like a shower curtain rod and it does not come with a shower curtain. Typical bathroom, literally just so basic. Under the sink storage, outlets, and then vent and a window up there. Very self-explanatory. And then right next to the bathroom is the living room and kitchen. Everything that is this color wood is all provided by Mustang Village. So if you see anything that's like a standalone item or looks like it's from Target, we definitely bought it ourselves. There's not too much counter space, which is one of my main problems with this apartment. We actually had to put half of the sink as a drying rack and the other half as like our dirty dishes. It's not usually a problem because my roommate does use the dishwasher more than I do. So all of her dirty dishes are in there and then my dirty dishes are in there. There is under the sink storage. We use that for pots and pans, drawers, and then each one of us has our own little closet or cabinet. This one's for like dishes and stuff, but they are really good with the storage components of this apartment. I don't think we've had an issue with like too much stuff or not enough. I feel like our issue this year was like there's too much space and not enough like stuff that we own to put in it, which I'll show you with the storage closet down here. But we have like 2 couches. The variations of the couches definitely are better in this apartment than they are in the other ones. I'm not sure why. Also, in a lot of the other apartments, the table is not square. It's a rectangle and a little bit longer. Here's just a little overview of our living area. One big thing that we definitely needed this year was a lot of extension cords. You can see there are just cords like everywhere. We have like a ton of phone chargers in that one, and then that one connects our lamp and our TV and all of that. And then there is a storage closet down here. This is where all of our moving and cleaning supplies are, so please do not judge the way that the inside of this looks, but it's a lot bigger than it looks. It's just like under the stairs storage. Again, boxes, cleaning supplies, fans, all the excess stuff that we didn't like want in our rooms. The unit does come with cable, I think, but I have no idea how to set it up. And also, like, we just have like Netflix and stuff on the TVs. Like, we don't really care. But there is like a cable thing there, and then it connects somehow. I'm sure you could ask maintenance to do it. Maintenance also sets up like Ring cameras and stuff if you ever need to do that. But yeah, this is just like a little overview of what the kitchen looks like. This year we had an issue of the power because there's only one outlet down on this kitchen area. So like my coffee machine and our toaster are definitely like plugged in there. But if you wanted to put more appliances, like we used to have a rice cooker and we'd have to constantly take it out and put it back in. There's only that and the garbage disposal here. So there's not any other outlets over here. And then we had an issue with the wall on this side not having power for some reason. I'm really not sure why. And we constantly would have to ask them to turn our microwave back on and also our stove, because it just wouldn't work. So I'm not sure like why that was happening, but maintenance is really nice about that. And then also they taught us how to reset our breaker for the occasion that like that did happen, which was actually kind of funny. One of my main things I would suggest that if you have any issue, you're paying more than enough rent to just call maintenance at the slightest issue that does arise. The stairs in this apartment are really uncomfortable. They have like these metal grates on them with like screws and stuff. So if you do move into one of these apartments, I definitely would suggest doing no shoes upstairs, but then also having slippers for inside of the house. I hardly ever don't wear my slippers inside of the house because of the stairs. Okay, and then this is where it's really gonna vary as to where or what your floor plan looks like. In a typical 2x2 townhome, you have the door on this side and the door on this side and the bathroom door, and that's it. This door doesn't exist in the 2x2 townhomes. This is a little storage area over here as well. It's a facade for this one. It's actually just a furnace, but there is like three shelf little storage closet. We just keep our medicine and like extra towels and stuff, and also some cleaning supplies for upstairs because it's really annoying to go up and down the stairs. They do, I don't know if I sound out of breath, but they do kill you. It's a really like steep set of stairs. The bathroom up here is pretty typical. The only plus is that there's two sinks. I believe the bathrooms in the 2x2 townhomes looks exactly like this, if not a little bit bigger. Like I said, the shower curtain is not provided by Mustang Village, so definitely make sure you have one of those prior to moving in. Bathroom, trash can, all the typical bathroom stuff. Storage under the sink. Like I said earlier, we had an issue with our sinks smelling really bad, and it has not been resolved all year. And then also they had to redo the plumbing on this side because, oh, well, you can't see it now, but it was leaking sewage or like drain grody brown stuff. I literally have no idea what it was, but it was disgusting. There's only one outlet on the wall next to the door. Also take what I say with a grain of salt as to the amenities in each of the apartments. I think it varies, but for the most part, it should be pretty similar to mine. And then there is a vent and a light switch right here. Now, before I show you the bedroom, one thing I was just thinking about is the fire detectors in the apartment. They go off constantly, and sometimes the stove downstairs sets off the fire alarm downstairs, but each room has its own fire alarm. So for whatever reason, if your room starts to smoke, it will only go off in your room, not your apartment roommates' rooms. But it is loud and you will hear everybody else's fire alarms going off in their houses. So moving on to the bedroom, Mustang Village only provides a desk and a chair, 2 under the bed storage, I guess drawer, dresser things. One of my roommates actually stacked her dressers. I don't know how safe that is, but just an idea for you. And then also a bed frame and a mattress. My mattress is a full mattress. They told us it was going to be a twin for some reason, but it's actually a full bed. And the bed configurations vary a lot depending on your living situation. One of my friends actually had a king bed this year, which was interesting. But in the 2x2s, you will be sharing this entire room with somebody else. And there will be a twin bed on this side, a twin bed on that side, and then a desk like situation in the middle. My closet is kind of like a walk-in closet. Oh, there is a space heater right here. So that comes in handy during the winter times, but there is no AC, like I said, in any of the rooms. Closet's pretty typical. Again, everything that you see, like I bought basically, besides like the built-in stuff. Definitely would suggest a rolling hamper no matter what configuration you're in. It comes in handy instead of having to drag everything to the laundry rooms. If I can remember correctly, there's an outlet on this wall, an outlet on that one, and then also on this one. My experience with the bedrooms here have been really good. Our apartment, again, is a little bit bigger, I would say, than the other apartments, especially the 2x2 townhomes, just with the configuration. It's not really evident in my room, but it is evident in my roommate's room. Her room is a little bit bigger than mine is. I will say in Mustang Village, you do get a good bang for your buck here, especially with the close proximity to campus, the amount of amenities, and then just the living space itself. In Valencia or the other apartment buildings that are kind of around Foothill, they're not as big as this. The Valencia apartments are very small in my opinion, especially the bedrooms. But here in Mustang Village, I will say my room has not disappointed me. I love the size of it. I was kind of hesitant at the beginning of the year because it is fairly big, but as I kind of grew into it and like expanded my stuff from just like my move-in stuff, which is very minimal, and kind of like actually settled down in here, I love the space. It's huge and very much a normal sized apartment. But yeah, if you have any questions or anything like that, obviously comment or just shoot me an Instagram DM. I'll leave my Instagram in the description below. I hope that it was informative and gave you a good look as to what Mustang Village has to offer. Obviously, I didn't really cover amenities or things like that, but I would be more than happy to answer your questions about that if you do send a comment or an Instagram DM.